She slipped into the ruby-red satin dress I had purchased for her during our fleeting escape to Florence, a time I once believed was a chapter of affection, not foreshadowing. The fabric clung to her frame like a whispered promise, its plunging back daringly low, exposing the smooth expanse of skin I once traced with reverence. It was a garment that didn't ask for attention. It commanded it. Every curve, every motion tailored to arrest the gaze of even the most disinterested onlooker. From the far side of the warmly lit dining room, I observed her in silence. The golden glow of candlelight danced along the delicate pearl earrings she had once claimed were forever lost. A lie, I realized now, told with the same ease as she'd tell me she loved me. Her laughter floated across the room, faint and brittle, like embers drifting off a dying fire. I knew that sound, once genuine, now rehearsed. She was completely unaware of my presence, too absorbed in the fantasy she'd created to detect the weight of my gaze. But I watched. Every flick of her wrist, every shift of her shoulders, every stolen glance. Nothing escaped me. I had trained myself to read her the way one might analyze financial patterns. Subtle, deceptive, but never without clues. And then the waiter approached. In his hand, folded carefully between practiced fingers, was a slip of paper. He moved with the discretion and composure I had instructed, performing a role so natural it might have been his own idea. She accepted the note with an absent smile, unfolding it as if it were a dessert menu, until she read the words I had penned with exacting care. "I trust the risotto's sublime." Took less than a second. Her skin drained of color. The fork slipped from her hand and clattered onto her plate. Her lips parted, trembling as her wine glass tipped, sloshing deep red across the pristine white linen like a fresh wound. Her companion blinked in confusion, trying to understand her sudden change in demeanor. She looked like an animal caught in a snare, beautiful, breathless, and utterly trapped. This moment wasn't impulsive. It was the crescendo of 4 painstaking months of planning. Every element, every detail, every breath calculated. We met in university. She, radiant and sharp-tongued, someone who could captivate a crowd without raising her voice. I was quieter, methodical, a finance major with a deep belief in stability over spectacle. She said I grounded her, called me her anchor, her safe harbor. I believed her. God help me, I believed her. We built a life. Joint accounts, whispered dreams, a modest home with creaking floors, a rescued dog that curled at our feet. Children. She wasn't ready. Maybe someday, she said. For now, she told me what we had was enough. I accepted that for her. 12 years. 1 shared mortgage. 1 faithful dog. 1,000 reassurances that what we had was whole. And then came the first crack. She missed a dinner we'd planned, citing a last-minute meeting. Then came a weekend summit that didn't appear on her calendar. But it was the new phone passcode that haunted me. A small, quiet betrayal, the kind that echoes loudest in the dark. I didn't confront her. Instead, I observed. Words can lie. Behavior cannot. I cloned her phone, installed a tracker in her glove compartment, and linked her laptop to a private server I built in secret. I gave her freedom, and in it she exposed herself. Within 3 weeks I had everything. Names, pseudonyms, locations, schedules. Him, younger, arrogant, also married. They called themselves A&R, like star-crossed characters from a cheap novel. She told him I was dependable but dull. Sent him photos from our bedroom. Her betrayal didn't break me, it focused me. A quiet divorce wouldn't suffice. I needed something enduring, something cinematic. I began by securing our finances, opening private accounts, redistributing funds, all beneath her radar. Just enough remained in our joint portfolio to preserve the illusion. I hired a divorce attorney, discreet, incisive, and thorough, who unearthed clauses in our prenup that invalidated her claims upon proof of infidelity. Clauses she had never bothered to read. Then I chose the restaurant. Her favorite. Grand, theatrical. I reserved a table across the room from where she would sit, weeks in advance. The waiter, an old friend from my university days, now the maitre d', owed me a favor and knew how to blend into the background. On the night of reckoning, I dressed in black. No tie. The watch she had given me for our 5th anniversary adorned my wrist, the same one she later insisted she had misplaced. I sat alone, ordered nothing but a glass of water, and waited. They arrived, fingers interlaced, the very picture of youthful defiance. She glided past me without hesitation, not a flicker of recognition. They laughed. Whispered. He closed his eyes as she murmured sweet nothings. Then the note. She read it. And the illusion fractured. He turned pale. Her hands trembled. She stood so abruptly her glass toppled, spilling wine like spilled secrets. He blinked at her, dazed. She fled to the restroom, her phone already lit with my message. Where are you? What's happening? Can we talk? I didn't reply. Instead, I sent her a file. Screenshots of their conversations, her photos, recordings of their calls, and finally the divorce papers, already signed. She returned, disoriented and visibly shaken. He stayed at the table, clearly unsure whether to follow or stay put. I walked past him, calm, composed, and dropped my business card in front of his untouched plate. Written in ink beneath my name. Your wife has all the proof. His expression collapsed. Panic took root. He fumbled for his phone with shaking hands. She followed me out, calling my name, desperate. Her voice cracked. I turned only once. No need for lawyers, I said. You forfeited everything. 3 weeks later it was over. She signed every document without a whisper of resistance. She left with a suitcase and a storm behind her. Kept the house, the accounts, the dog, and the peace. His marriage didn't survive. His wife sent me flowers. We met once, shared a bottle of wine, and exchanged laughter born of poetic justice. Sometimes in the still hours of night, I remember the way she used to look at me, like I was her forever. But then I see her in that scarlet dress again, radiant and wrong, tilting toward a man who wasn't me, clutching that note with trembling hands. She expected me to shout, to plead, to beg. But she forgot who I was. I don't rage. Don't scream. Watch. Plan. And then execute. She wanted drama. I gave her silence. I didn't burn the house down. I simply turned out the lights and left her to sit alone in the dark. Betrayal doesn't need fury. Only finality. The soft click of a door closing. And the sound of a lock engaging forever.